Hi dear students, how are you? After long days I getting the chance to see you. Very nice to see you dear students. I am your history teacher. I hope all are fit and fine in your home. Dear students, we know that due to the corona pandemic, the whole country has locked down itself. The country is struggling with schools, teachers and lack of education. The most of the schools of the country have started online classes. Dear students, you must take advantage of this opportunity. Our school management also started this channel for giving the online classes to continue your study. It will help us to cover the syllabus and to maintain the flow of study. This connection is not limited to class, but the session will be available for all. I recommend you take the practice in history, years and events, map, definition, and other facts. If you have any query, you can ask in the WhatsApp group. I will love your individual talents and strengths. I welcome you all to join in the online classes. I hope to see you soon in the class. Stay home, stay safe. Dear students, in 6th standard weeks, we are going to discuss about the lesson name is democracy. First of all, we should discuss about what are the learning objectives. The first one is to know the meaning of democracy. The second one is to know the types of democracy. The third one is to know the appreciate the structure of our constitution, to know the aims of democracy. The teachers of Nallur Government High School were doing the final preparations for the program. Let's know the society. The Singaravelar Hall was filled with students. The headmaster, Mr. Jiva, welcomed the chief guest of the day, Advocate Mr. Rachasagaran. When he brought the chief guest to hall, the students observed silence. Mr. Brito, the history teacher, welcomed the gathering. The chief guest, Mr. Rachasagaran, stood up to address the students. Beloved brothers and sisters, I thank you for inviting me to this program. I am not going to speak on this occasion. When he said this and paused, everyone looked at him in wonder. Democracy should be found everywhere, shouldn't it? So, I am going to converse with all of you. He said, requested to give a microphone to the students. Mr. Rajsagar said, first let me ask you a question. Do you know what kind of society did early man live in? In the beginning, they were hunters and gathered food. Later, they settled near rivers and practiced agriculture, said Deepika, a sixth standard student. Yes, when man started to live in groups, tribes were formed. Every tribe had its own chief. These groups fought among themselves for land, water, and other resources. Those who emerged victorious formed kingdoms by uniting the other tribal groups. These kingdoms later integrated to form empires. Arun questioned, so the chief would have become the king, wouldn't he? Yes. That was how monarchies ruled by kings were found. Sukanya asked, what is how monarchy emerged in our country too? Yes, this was how the system of monarchy formed throughout the world. Also, our country was ruled by kings and emperors and then came under the British rule. The students answered together. After centuries of struggle and many sacrifices, we got freedom from British colonialism. colonialism. We adopted democracy as our ruling systems when our country got freedom, said Rajasekaran. Devarajan asked him, What is democracy? When you start a sports club, you will share the responsibilities. Thank you would enjoy its benefits, but not thank you, sorry. Then you would enjoy its benefits, but share the income and expenditures, wouldn't you? Yes, sir. Similarly, the citizens of country select their representatives through elections. Thus, they can part in the direct governance of a country. This is termed democracy. In a democratic form of government, a considerable amount of power lies with the people of that nation. People can participate in the politics of country and decision making processes. There are different types of democracy. Types of democracy. Yes. There are various types of democracy in practice around the world. Among those, direct democracy and representative democracy are the most popular forms of government. What is direct democracy? Asked Sirajuddin. In a direct democracy, people have the power of frame laws. If we consider your sports club as an example, you all can discuss and amend laws and rules. The perspective of each member is considered and each one express his view. But how will you take a final decision? The choice of the majority will be accepted. The other will also give their consent, said Selva. Yes, this system is actually known as a direct democracy, said Rajasekaran. What do you mean by representative democracy? Imagine that your sports club has more number of members now. Is it possible for hundreds of them to gather and discuss to take various decisions? No, sir. In that case, all the members should be represented by the group of representatives, shouldn't they? Yes, agreed the students in union. Those group members will administrate the sports club on behalf of all the other members. To select these representatives, elections are held. For example, many contest for the post of the head secretary, treasurer, and members of administration group. In the end, those who gain the maximum number of votes will be given the post. On behalf of the other members, they obtain the power to take decisions in a democratic manner. This is termed as the representative democracy. What is meant by democratic decision making? Questioned Judith. In the system of democracy, the power to take the decision does not lie with the head. On the contrary, a group holds the power. What adheres to the rules and regulations. All the members of the group hold open the discussions and take the final decisions only when everyone is convinced. This is called democratic way of decision making. Are there rules and regulations to govern our country like the rules and regulations of this group? Yes. In highly populated country like India, if the people want to live peacefully, they have to follow certain rules and regulations, rights and duties properly. Hence, the Constitution of India guides us in all these aspects and plays an important role in maintaining law and order. What are the rights given in our Constitution? Our Constitution ensures freedom, equality, and justice to everyone. What are features are how found in our Constitution? It defines the political principles, the structure of the government institutions, and methods to follow these rules and regulations, the powers and responsibilities. And also, it fixes the right and duties and the directive principles of the citizens. Thus, our Constitution provides a structure to us. Is the Constitution of India such as detailed one? Asked Tamil Chelvi in amazement. Indian Constitution is the longest written constitution in the world. It is drafted by the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. That's why we call him the chief architect of our constitution. Rajasekaran concluded. The students clapped with joy and thanked him for the simple explanation of democracy. Next, we are going to discuss about the topic named Dear Students, Aims of Democracy. Democracy is defined as the government of the people, for the people, and by the people, for the people, and by the people. In a democracy, the power is vested in the hands of the people. For that, the people should have rights to take decision. Everyone cannot participate in decision making, so the representative government elected by the people to form a democratic system. All those who attain the age of 18 are given the voting rights to elect the representatives. At the same time, the representatives have the responsibility to protect the welfare of the people. Next, we are going to discuss about the topic names, dear students, the world democracy. New Zealand is the first country to allow women to vote. 1893. Voting rights to women were given in 1918 and the 1920 in the UK and the USA respectively. At the time, at the same time, the wealthy alone were given the voting rights in India. Many leaders like Mahatma Gandhi kept insisting on giving voting rights to all. Now in India, all the peoples above 18 years of age enjoy universal adult fancies.